What's up, guys? It's Mrjamvad, and today we are back on the Pokemon Showdown server. We're going to be doing our Uber Sundays as usual. I know the uploads have been a little more sporadic as of late. I've recommenced work, and so doing that at least 10 hours a day. Not literally 10 hours, but like about 9 hours there. And then, obviously commute time, preparation time at home. So it takes up a lot of my day. And so that in conjunction with my new business and academy stuff and website stuff and just work outside of that, like my own work is taking up a ton of time, and so the videos will likely be every other day, and they won't be like hour-long lives unless I'm really feeling it, or it's a day where I have the time, and so I'm just giving you guys an update and kind of what to expect. This team is just a team I threw together. Wanted to use the diggers because I know, like, usually people would post a ton of Uber team. Well, back in the day, I didn't really use and take Uber teams back when RCS and stuff were around. So I used to build teams very quickly, but nobody's really playing Ubers, I guess, and there's no team, and so I have to whip something together a couple minutes before I record. And so hopefully this isn't like bad and it's some legitimate, as my opponent is 1329, so we got to be careful with these 1329ers. You just never know what you're gonna get. I love Zacian versus my opponent, particularly and Ferrothorn, so we'll see. Now Iron Defense Ferrothorn is pretty problematic, T-Spikes as well, and so I'm assuming he's gonna go, let's see, Diggers be upon earthquaking. The only guarding he has is Hydreigon. Assuming we remove that, looking fairly well. This should be like sub nasty plot. So got to be wary of that set because that could be very problematic as well. But I'm gunning for either a Ferrothorn body press sweep, because I just, it's lower ladder. You never know. Decay quite a lot. You never really know. As far as it could just be running Fire Blast, which isn't bad, but they generally don't run that, and so I want to be account for that. He has two Dark types. Malamar could be problematic as well, so I want to be careful of that, like a substitute Malamar, Dynamax, and all these things. And so, this is tough. Game plan wise, again, I'm gonna double down on these two. Phase 1, this is gonna be, I don't think that's gonna do much. Taunt. So phase 1, I know he's gonna lead drill. I'm not too concerned. Maybe I should have let Diggers be, because one thing I didn't account for was so I was called here. I didn't expect him to be SD. I guess I didn't account for Rockfall drill. I thought he was going to be lead stealth rock. I didn't account for Rockfall drill, and so that might end up biting me in the ass as he iron heads. I'm okay with him taking my Mandibuzz, yeah. So we get to go to Zacian and pick up a KO here. Behemoth Blade, Death, and so yeah, I didn't account for that. So we get back to square one where we can get, because I'm sure it's gonna bang with the blade. I get the rock helmet on his did, and I get the T-Spike, which is good because we wanted that. And I'm not too concerned about the lax. Let's talk. Is the immunity? I mean, I could see a case for immunity. Yeah, I could see a case for immunity. So it's heavy slam. I want double layers, darkest layer. I'm really not sure what's going on here. So curse, darkest layer is heavy slam. I'm assuming you'd have a normal move. So we're gonna lead sheet here. Yeah. We iron defense press, so we can actually sweep him outright here. Body press. That's just defense. He's not doing any damage anyway. Yeah. There's no point going +6 as he goes Malamar. You knock that out. At least we don't get to lose our item. The Ditto is going to be poisoned badly, and so yeah, this could be packing a Fire Blast. I'm going to go hard Diggersby because it covers both. I can U-turn out as he Dynamax Max Rim. I always fuck that shit up. Max Rimwind, whatever, Rimwind. So as he's Rocky Helmet, Hydreigon. And so that's, again, you know, you do want to be mindful of all these sets, these interesting sets, because it seems to not be able to touch Ferrothorn. Sacked it anyway, as Ditto. Yep, hold the poisoning. And then now if he opts for the T-Spike route, you know, Zacian actually wins from here. So yeah, wild charging means now we Iron Defense and just win, because us Iron Defensing just means that when did this wake up? Oh, it was Chesto. Okay, let's just knock this out. But basically the Leech Seed in conjunction with the T-Spikes allows me to beat the Mimikyu, so we didn't need to like do anything. Yeah, I guess I'll throw up rocks, why not? But yeah, obviously we can't see, it has Drain Punch, so we got to be careful there. And so the Ditto faints, and so I did not lead the best. Like, it completely skipped my mind that he could have been just a generic Rockfall drill, which actually is a pretty problematic threat to this team. Yeah, so I'm glad that that wasn't the case. Generally, I think that was the only Stealth Rock Pokemon on this team. Yeah, so generally with those, if it's a Stealth Rock lead drill, it's not going to be Rockfall. It might have had Mold Breaker, and I just completely ignored it as well, and so that could have been the case. But generally, again, lead drill you're gonna see, but I gotta account for all possibilities, because it'd just be a shame if I just threw it again. You know, you're used to your hour-long Uber lives. This may be 30, as it is. It's 9:48 as I'm recording this, and so I'm gonna be off Tuesday and Wednesday, and so we'll. I haven't touched Showdown in a few days, and so I do need to brush up quite a bit on. Since you guys enjoyed a lot of you guys enjoyed the what's it called, the National Dex, which I think was just a blast. So, you know, incorporating different things, but I don't want to go cold turkey because of this rapid schedule. And so in the past, what I do is like still try to do daily, get overwhelmed, and then I just disappear. Because I'm like, okay, I can't. It gets to the point where I literally cannot upload, and so if I just kind of modulate it early, learn from my mistakes from the past, I can do a better job in this one. So in this, two problems, but primarily I want T-Spikes heavily, but because since he's double sun, he's probably like G-Max Zard, and you know, obviously we don't want that Zard just going ham and going crazy and going Hamilton and going crazy, because we just destroyed that. So I don't want his Dugtrio just doing as it pleases. I can't T-Spike like I want to because of the Eternatus. However, he's incredibly weak to REUNICLUS, and so ideal situation is to double down on REUNICLUS for the sweep. In order to do so, Ferrothorn guards. Ferrothorn only comes down Rotom and Dugtrio. I do want those rocks up because they do impede a potential Sash and Fire move. And if for some reason he throws away the Rotom early, I can really do some work with Diggersby. Zacian is meh. It's solid depending on what the Dugtrio is and depending on how he plays his Torkoal. Depends. But again, we're doubling down on REUNICLUS. Gonna have Mandibuzz on the off chance that we can snarl something that's getting out of hand. And what I'll do is, I think my worst case scenario is Rotom versus Diggersby would have been worst case, but like say for example this Torkoal versus Diggs lead, I'm a Rocky Helmet Like, let's say he stays in here and just gets quaked. I'm a helmet variant. Ideally, I'd want to get the quake off, but him going into Rotom will be far worse for me, especially for a setup situation. So I'm gonna go to Pex, as he actually has body press. So because obviously Sun Boost is called Sun Weekend's called essentially 40 base, and so Dugtrio actually technically could trap me depending on what the Dugtrio is, and so I don't want to T-Spike just for a wasted Toxapex. And so what I'll do is, since he's body press, what would be his power play if I REUNICLUS'd him now? I know what I'll do. So I'm gonna stay in. I expected him to stay in there. And my power play is I'm gonna stall out the Sun a bit because his Charizard would be his power play, and so now he's definitely gonna attempt to try to go to the Dugtrio. Again, I need to time this Sun well. So we're gonna go to pivot to Mandibuzz here. One of two things, either Dugtrio or oh, he actually just blew him. So he shows his last move. Fog, yeah, excellent. And so I'm pretty sure this is his core Sunmon. Now this is one solid setup fodder, but again, as long as it's not Zard, Rune has decent setup fodders. Stunt. I'm guessing he's just gonna give me this. I didn't want Mandibuzz to be this low, but you know, assuming the Sun as he just plumes, man, that did nothing. That did 0. 14% stab. I know Buzz is Buzz, but lordy lord. And so Buzz is far lower because of the crit. Crit me, right? Am I misthinking? Yeah, he did crit me, right? And so here, you know, Volt Switch. Offensive VS is a bitch. Again, just very wary of that Charizard, right? Very wary of that Charizard. VS, let him VS. No, that's a waste of a mon. I'll let Ninetales in as I go to Pex. At this point, I don't care about T-Spikes anymore, unless my boy's big bald. Pivots to Dougie if that's the case, right? But basically what we're trying to gun for here is a situation where either I take his Sun from him. I mean, we'll see how he plays this, because I could technically Toxic him here. I don't know if he just wastes his Ninetales, but I could technically Toxic him here as he stays in to Solar Beam. Okay, what is this guy's points? Okay, he's 12 to 17. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Because I'm like, why would you waste Ninetales there to give up your Sun versus Zard? But we'll Toxic here. Even if he goes Dugtrio. Okay, so there goes his Sun. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, bros. But I'm going to take it. As we're going to go back to Buzz. Nasty plots, that's fine. So I know all his attacks now, so he can't touch me. We're gonna T-Spike. Okay, this is actually good. I don't know why he's over me. I think that means the Zard won't be boosted. 25%. There's no way Skull does 40. It might. It just might. I'll just T-Spike as a move here. Yeah. And so we'll give up Mandibuzz here. And so we keep Pex for the Charizard, because he might have. I don't think you can run. Your fire move has to be that one G-Max Wildfire. And so respect the opponent. You never know what can come out the woodworks. He G maxes. They actually completely forgot that he could G max. Not like it matters, but it actually helps with Zacian. So he's not G maxing the Zard. He's not G maxing the Zard. So I actually completely blanked on I'm so focused on him G maxing Charizard that I completely forgot that he could technically G max the the Ninetales right in front of me. Not like it would have KO'd Pex. And so Zard obviously is gonna go down to this wild charge unless it's just scarfed. Yeah. And then we get our recoil back, and so yeah, it might have been a, unless it's what's this? Eternatus. I guess it was a Dynamax cannon variant. How many turns of he's life for Dynamax cannon. Yeah. So the reason I switched there is if he was Orby that knocked me out there, Orbin the Behemoth Blade, that could have gotten tricky depending on how he played. So he goes Ductria, and so now I'm pretty sure it's a wrap. As far as like just the REUNICLUS, unless he lucks. Skull's a better play. Maybe he doesn't realize that he can trap me, or he's trapped me. Maybe he thought I was, but I didn't even have anything for Stone Edge. Okay. Interesting. I'll take it. The point there was like the only we're trying to get in. I guess I could have called it there, but if he had Nasty Plot, I think Nasty Plot T-Bolt, I'd have to. I guess technically I could have lost if he's Nasty Plot T-Bolt. If Zacian missed fair, well, I'd have to hit Fleet. The likelihood of that working out is fairly low, but let's see how much Dynamax cannon is doing. I think he might be choiced. He's offensive for sure, but he's just doing so little. But yeah, at this point, we're gonna stall out as many Dynamax cannons as possible. That's the only move. Well, not the only move, but that's the most threatening move to my REUNICLUS, especially upon D-Max. And so he forfeits. So let's see. Interesting opponents today. I guess no, but I mean it's fairly late, so nobody's on the ladder. So my apologies for these opponents. But man, shit, the lower ladders are always the dangerous ones, particularly in Ubers. And so this opponent has no ground resistance. So with Choice Scarf, Digger Speed picks up 1 definite chaos. I think maybe after Rocks, Eternatus goes down. I'm not sure how to get up Rocks though versus his type of team. Arena always comes in on Ferrothorn. And he has Chord Changer. So I'll just overwhelm with the Earthquake rather than trying to go for a straight up KO or get some kind of chip. Potentially Skull Burn. He also is fairly susceptible to. Well, no, I guess not really. I was gonna say Thorn, but I was just focusing so much on Necrozma. Thorn can't be allowed to be hit because of the Necrozma. Pex struggles with. REUNICLUS is decent. This might be a longer game. It depends on how he plays. He has the tools to give me a hard time. Pex is gonna probably be chilling a lot until it burns something. Hatterene is pretty threatening to me. Stab wise, it's just I can't really deal with that very easily. So I will see if he's either G Max or he is CM. CM would be pretty problematic, but CM would mean he'd probably be dual stab. Problem is with that is the only thing I have that can hit that is Zacian. And so we're gonna have to really be doubling down on Diggersby, I think. And so that's gonna be my game plan. Remove Lunala's all items, and so whenever Diggersby comes in, it should pick up a KO. Don't know enough about this Eternatus. I don't want to show him that I'm choice scarfed. I don't think. Does it matter? But I'd get to see what kind of mon he is. I think it could matter. I don't think the U-turn damage here to find out what item he is worth it. And so I'm gonna go Pex as a nice Mrjamvad. Again, Pex gonna be fairly problematic defensively to him. It's very hard for him to touch it between Toxapex and Mandibuzz, you know, because obviously his ways of super effectively hitting Toxapex are psychic types. Lunala being one and Hatterene being one, and so, you know, Lunala all day gets walled by Mandibuzz. Those Specs Moonblast would mess me up. That in conjunction with Hatterene's potential mystical fires on my Zacian, excuse me. And the fact that the Necrozma could likely be the morning sunset, which is fairly plausible because it doesn't have any other stealth rock options, so you just never know. Gonna go Pex. The Dynamax cans hard. Doesn't do too much. Will recover. Surprised he went Necrozma. So this is very interesting because obviously we said earlier that we want the damage on this. If he's rocks and I get a T spike up, he pivots back to 10. Nah. Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance didn't even cross my mind, but it makes sense. Makes perfect sense. So we'll lead seed here. So next time we're just gonna have to hard Ferrothorn on that Necrozma. I was just so fixed on rocks. Similarly to the Excadrill game, you have to account for everything. I haven't seen a Dragon Dance Necrozma in so long, so that's pretty cool. And so if he asks for U-turning, you know, it's always gonna get punished with the helmet. And so he's already at 70 something. And here comes the dreaded Hatterene, the thing that you don't want to see. And so I'm for Zacian here, but because he's interesting, let's see if Max Flare knocks me out. That's what I'm assuming. He Dynamax Max Flare here, but as we already established, this Hatterene's a bitch. If he's Life Orb, certainly, I'm pretty sure Gears just always kills. Hatterene has so much special attack. Zacian, Crowndo, and so what is G Max, bro? Oh, you have to put. I wonder if it's Max Flare. That's leftovers Max Flare. And it's still, that's 25% chance. But if he's Orb, I'm dead. And so how do I want to account for that possibility? Oh wow, that made me look like a beast. But if I went for, it's funny because he can I'll just Scald hard. Yeah, I was gonna say he could actually I'm actually faster than him. And so Hatterene gets burned, which is a big deal because Trick Room wears off this turn. I get to go to Zacian, which is a big pivot. And he G-maxes that turn, so he actually wastes his G-max, and he was Life Orb. So if he had Max Flared there, I would have been dead. But I wouldn't have been too bothered by it because at the very least, one, he'd have used his G-max, and two, he wasn't under Trick Room. And so you know, obviously we can Behemoth Blade here and knock out Hatterene. So the biggest threat to my team is gone. Uber Inc., which I think is a cool name, definitely could have been more patient because that Hatterene was a problem for the Jamster. And so what I can do here is to break any potential sashes. which opens up Diggersby as that looks Life Orb. Yep. And so that's Diggersby food. Rocky Helmet is coming in clutch here. Very much so. Very much clutch. Very much clutch. As we're just gonna Scald your Dynamax cannon isn't doing damage. And he's leftovers, which means he wouldn't have knocked out my Diggersby, but he definitely wasn't dying to any he wasn't dying to, he tries to predict me there. Let's throw up these T-Spikes for that potential Lunala. Marshadow trying to get cheeky as he's using up his Dynamax cannons. That's dope for this guy right here. So we'll throw up another one as it's taking the court change route, but I know he's gonna do that and give me this. There's nothing he can go into to threaten me that I can't switch right, and so Mandibuzz doesn't get affected by T-Spikes, obviously. Tricks me, and he was Choice Specs. I'll Snarl hard. So that's Diggersby with another Snarl. That's Diggersby food. I missed, but I can absorb the T-Spikes. Now we're back. You could go Loon. But as I said, next time he does this, I'm going hard Pharaoh. So we can Iron D. We 1v1 this. Stealth, right? He should switch here. Nope. So press should crush. Yeah. I don't know if that mattered in conjunction with Leech Seed, but that definitely wouldn't have KO'd him, I don't think. And so this matters. We're gonna Toxic this boy. That way, Mandibuzz, he did a round half last time. At this point, Diggs plus Zacian should do the trick. I'd want to get another round because we obviously take Pixel Thief here. We're gonna get more Life Orb rounds, and so Snarl spam here, and so Diggs comes in and does Diggersby things. We obviously have the Dynamax in the back as well if I need to. Oh, he's boots now. This fool took my boots. This fool heavy duty boots now. That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, bro. It's kind of cool. Let's get some seeds on him. Why do you take my item back? What a scumbag. He wanted the Choice Scarf, which makes sense, sort of. I don't think anything would have mattered, but yeah. So we'll just Leech Seed this. The fact that he's not Boost now means Zacian does destroy, and so Moonguy's Beam's doing good damage. I mean, what the fuck am I gonna do to this? Zacian on the out chance he chooses to switch. Nice. As we can now Toxic the Eternity, or not the Eternity, this the Lunala. Yeah, not like it really mattered. That wasn't like some big impressive play or anything like that. It just doesn't really have any outs right now, and so I'm throwing in Ferrothorn repeatedly because it's just not a factor. It's not a Pokemon I need, and so from here, Behemoth Blade into Earthquake will kill anything he goes for. I should have Swords Dance there. I just realized he was low. The reason the Swords Dance there is because I could have knocked him out with EQ with Diggersby afterwards. I didn't realize he wasn't at full. If he was at full, then the play was to Behemoth Blade. If he wasn't at full, the play was to Swords Dance. So I'm gonna grab one more to round it out. Hopefully we can get a higher opponent, as 1475 is solid stuff, about where I'm at. And so this guy has Celebi, Quagsire, normal stuff, cool stuff. Goth though, we hate to see that. Don't want to see Goth because of REUNICLUS that we have. But we do have Mandibuzz, which shuts down most those CM variants of Goth. And so I'm assuming he's gonna try to Toxic my Mandibuzz somehow. That way he can Combine Stall out my Goth. Certainly can shut me down with the Zacian. I'm curious to see how this is gonna pan out because he has a very unique, cool kind of team. Diggersby might be able to save us. in the sense of with the knockoff, item removal is going to be huge in this one. T spikes is huge in this one as well. But again, the goth is a bitch. I don't want to just have it have its way, and so I'll patience this out because Diggersby is such a problem. I think the Lunala is a toxic hex variant. Like, it just makes sense to bait the dark types with a toxic hex variant and then try to cosmic power with goth. Cosmic power, like whatever the hell it does. I really forgot. And so Kyurem, it could be a Thunderbolt version, choice spec strict version as well. And so Kyurem, you know, loses to Ferrothorn but can beat the other ones. And so we got to be mindful of that. I don't want Ferrothorn being out at all. Diggersby's core purpose is going to be to knock off, likely Quagsire, knock off likely Mandibuzz, though I won't be getting the procs most likely. And with that, I might be able to overwhelm him with Zacian. So phase 1, Goth gets to come in. I wonder what, again, I'm very curious as to what to expect here. Because he could be choice specs. I'm going to knock off hard. Because I could opt for U-turn into Zacian, assumedly. Okay, I don't get the Celebi play. Assuming I had U-turn there. Don't have any info on this, and so I'm gonna make the safe Zacian play because it covers everything. It could be a T-Wave variant. I don't know if that's a thing. Man, so him going Celebi there, man, I could have U-turned it. So the fact that he switched out Goth, Celebi was just not the mon I was expecting, and so it could have been a situation where he doesn't value Celebi, and so, you know, he's like, well, Celebi's not doing shit this game, so might as well throw it in here. Now, I could pivot to Mandibuzz here to potentially get T-Wave. That would mean that the Goth can't toxic me, the Lunala can't toxic me, and then I'll be Gucci from there. And I also could see a U-turn here or a pivot into or this could be Stealth Rock. I mean, this looks like a Stealth Rocker. And he's clearly like max. So Celebi a toxic? So many questions here. I have so many of them. So many questions. Zacian is too important. U-turn, or if I let him U-turn, it forces in Kyurem, which I can't do shit about. Positioning is gonna be very important here. All right, so gonna go Buzz. The likelihood of it being toxic, there's a Thunder Wave, right? And so I got that call right, because what this now does is it prevents Goth from doing as it pleases. It could be Stealth Rock. If that's the case, I know he won't go for a grass move here. Yeah, if that's the case, I can deal with that. I U-turn pivot, right? Recover Stealth Rock. Perhaps Giga. I know he won't go for a T-Wave here. Okay, good. And so I got the Celebi right where I wanted him. And so I'm gonna Behemoth Blade first. Quagsire should come in. And the goal with the Behemoth Blade in here is the hope that he won't recover. And so if I'm subtle with my plays, then the likelihood of him having just a really strong reaction to me is pretty low. And so now he's within player of 2 at KO range next time I come in, and he doesn't have a player of switching this. So what I'm gonna do here is pivot to Pex as he smartly recovers. Just don't have the information. I don't know what his Goth is. So let's pivot to Buzz. And so Celebi was his initial switch, which means he's gonna recover here. What's hunt? So he does go Goth. What is this Goth gonna do? But if you're a trick, you can't. Trick heavy duty boost, perhaps. I'll snarl here in case he's come on, man. So he shows taunt, which means he's not trick, which is good info. Which means this might be like just a PP stall situation. So he's T-way stall to PP stall. Upside is I'm paralyzed. I would have liked to have gotten that damage on the Gothitelle here. So now that I know his Gothitelle isn't choice, that's good information. That's good information. Doesn't change the fact that it beats my Ferrothorn and beats my REUNICLUS. Does not change that fact at all. In fact, it might be worse. Now beats everything except my. So now he just does not beat Mandibuzz, and so obviously he's gonna rock there, and then he's gonna recover. I could have pivoted to Diggersby there, but it's gonna be the same situation. Now I'm getting PP styled a bit more, so I guess technically not. That is really frustrating. Those Confide, huh? Okay, that's all right. That's what that shit ran. Confide. It says taunt, confide, snarl. Okay, I see the route you're going. Thing is, first sucky thing for him is that I have horrible luck, and so like I don't think I lose a PP from taunt there, right? Now him confiding obviously, you know, drives my special attack, but I can get fully paralyzed, and again, unfortunately for him, I have horrible luck. Taunt, yes, 28 of them. I completely forgot about the confide stuff. I'm actually having solid luck. I'd misclicked with snarl there. I wasn't supposed to snarl. Ah, boy. Not one parahacks. If it was somewhere that notice the turns that it matter, I get parahacks. But now we're not getting parahacks. Confide. Says taunt, confide, China. Stall, PP stall. It is important that I let him stall out his taunts though, because that's gonna matter versus Reun. I think Reun might be able to do this, but I'd have to toxic Mandibuzz. I'm not sure how I'd pull that off. This might be impossible actually, unless he chokes somehow. So how many taunts? Still has 21 taunts. A lot of taunts as I start to struggle here. I think maybe he wanted to see if I had U-turn, but I mean the way he played the Celebi, it's not like he expected, like he didn't think I had U-turn. I think he wanted to see what my moveset was before it went to Goth. I completely blank. Again, I don't know what. I suppose pivoting to Celebi and catching the Quag at the right time and doubling around. The only issue with that is if he was like this Goth, or if he was a trick boost Goth. I don't want him to trick Mandibuzz, and so we had to play around that a bit. But yeah, this reminds me of the baton pass game from last week. And so we're doing struggling. Let's use up as many taunts as possible. Because we're gonna, Mandibuzz is gonna go down. There's no way around that. But he made the correct play with the Seismitoad stuff and whatnot. Game seems to be hesitating here. I mean, like, dude, you got my Mandibuzz. There's no way around. And so me getting paralyzed is actually very good. Yeah, obviously we don't take any damage, so we get the struggle damage there, which is whack. Obviously he goes Cure in Black. The way he just went Cure in Black is as if he's going for game. Now he could get, he could go back to Gothitelle here and fuck me up. So what I'll do is Leech Seed. You might have the Z move, which, wow. I did not think that would kill me. So that means I couldn't even Iron Defense. I'd have to max, or I'd have to pivot out Pex. Yeah, so I did not think that would kill. So I'd have to pivot, go, force him to, yeah, go Pex, bait out the electric moves, yeah, such and such and such. And so basically, like for example, right? Well, actually that wouldn't work. Cause he remember, I don't know. He had a solid strat. I wasn't ready for this shit. His strat ran up on me and fucked me up. And so I'm assuming the Confide is for Necrozma. Yeah. If I had a way to hit the Mandible, I could do something here. Shadow Claw. Okay, nah, this is over. But yeah, that's where we're gonna end the live for today. I'm trying to think how good I've gotten around the Goth. Goth traps everything except Zacian and Diggersby. I'd have to pivot somewhere around Diggersby and Goth. Zacian is useless because of Quag. Every time Quag comes in, what would I go to? Ferrothorn and Double Switch. There might have been a way. But yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.